Canes rumors time. This offseason, there's going to be a bunch of them because there are so many decisions that need to be made. Dennis, what rumor are we tackling today in Storm Tracker?
So the big name that's still floating around out there is Martin Necas. That guy. That's right. Carolina Hurricanes forward Martin Necas. I'm going to throw more names or more teams in the hat of teams.
More.
Talking about, hey, is Martin Necas a good fit for us? The Ottawa Senators being one of them, and the Nashville Predators. That's right. Even Nashville media, as early as today, or as late as today, as recent as today, we're talking, hey, is Martin Necas, would he be a good fit here in Nashville? Hey, up in Ottawa, the reasons why you need to trade for Martin Necas up in Ottawa. Montreal's name still floating around a whole bunch. Still here in Vancouver, still here in Boston, but now throw more teams into the mix saying, hey, you know what? Martin Necas might be the guy for us.
Are we nearing the point where you start to reevaluate if you should let Martin Necas go in a trade? If everybody, because here's how I'm thinking about it, and I know no one cares about my fantasy team, but stick with me for the analogy.
All right.
I'm in a couple very highly competitive fantasy teams or fantasy leagues, and if you drop a player, we do like a free agent, so there's like cash that you have to bid on to get someone off of waivers. If you drop a player and like everyone else in the league immediately bids decent amount of money on taking that player and getting them onto their team, you feel like an idiot. You go like, oh man, shouldn't have dropped him, right? Like everybody wants him. What am I missing? Why do they like him so much if I didn't like him? Now that it's become obvious that Martin Necas is at least rumored to be available, right? And we're talking rumors here in Storm Tracker. Once it becomes obvious that he's rumored to be available, and it's like every day we're learning of 2 or 3 more teams that are willing to part with something serious, right? Like, it's not like these conversations are being had with, we think we could get him for a 6th. It's like, do we have the big pieces necessary to move to get Martin Necas? Does that give you any pause on maybe we should consider keeping Martin Necas? If everybody likes him, maybe we should like him more?
Well, I think it's, we kind of mentioned it yesterday, it's the infatuation with the unknown. That's what intrigues people so much. Like, oh, look at the potential. Oh, think about that. Well, think about, man, think he could play center here? Imagine him playing with these guys. Oh, what he could do playing alongside that guy. He's already known for us here. Everyone else, he's like the unknown, and the possibility. There's rose-colored glasses.
Part of the relationship.
Exactly. Like, I can make him better. Hey, in my system, that guy's going to do even better. But we already know what he does in this Kane system. We already know what he can bring. We already know what he does in the postseason.
So is there someone out there that we would not be doing the same thing with? Right? Because
we were doing the same thing when Jake Gensel was like, we should get Jake Gensel. We should trade for Jake Gensel.
No, I agree,
we were doing the same thing.
I'm saying like so now that we know that's a thing, and by the way, it's not like a new phenomenon. Like, you trade for somebody, you always imagine them like leveling up as soon as they put on your jersey. But now that we're aware of it, acutely aware of it, how would it be different with the people that you're bringing in for Martin Necas?
That's a fair point.
It's going like, we're probably overhyping the prospects or the players that Martin Necas brings in because of the exact same reason, thinking we'll just make them, we can fix them.
Oh, it's the same thing. Well, I don't think it's a fix, like a fix-em type thing. I think it's what you would get back is someone that you already know is going to be NHL ready, because that's what the command is going to be. Because the demand is going to be that high for Martin Necas. A NHL caliber ready to go player is going to be available and is going to have to be used in order to get Martin Necas. Simple as that. Whether it's a defenseman that is a top 4 guy that the Canes could just go ahead and, hey, you know what? We just filled Brady Shea's spot. Boom, right here. Here's Jacob Chikrin from Ottawa. Defenseman that the Canes apparently were interested in when he was in Arizona.
We're hearing a lot of that too, like the Pettersson stuff.
Yeah, Elias Pettersson.
I guess he doesn't have a no trade even in year 1, and he just signed the extension.
Yeah,
and the Necas part of it was part of it, and maybe you throw in like a Kokiniemi and something else, and it becomes much more interesting. For more details on the Martin Necas situation, what do we call it? Situation?
Yeah, sure.
Situation. Here's Ray Ferraro from TSN and ESPN.
And there is a level of inconsistency to him that leaves you wanting most games. So I want to know from the coaches, what's the plan that we could help him be a more consistent player? Because I think some of it is immaturity, like age. He's still a young guy.
Yeah.
He's a really young guy.
Yeah.
But I really think quite highly of him. I think he should be a 70-plus point guy. Like, he can score. Yeah. He can shoot. And he's been frustrating for Carolina because a player of that ability should not play on all four lines on your team.
That's the best example of it, of exactly what you were talking about, that unknown. Because he goes, oh, he hasn't been consistent. He's an inconsistent player, and I love him. I think he's a 70-point player. And I'm going like,
he's done it once.
Oh, he can score. He can shoot it, but he's been inconsistent. It's like you're bringing up the flaw and then immediately ignoring the flaw, right? He can't shoot. He can't shoot. I love him as a shooter. It's like it's that quick. Which is what everybody's doing with Martin Necas, and if they want to let their imaginations run wild with the best version of him, I think we let them do that, and we say, how much will you give for it?